You and your sons took the wood from my neck. I'll never forget what you've done for me. Ask me for anything you want. Genghis Khan to the man who freed him from slavery, the secret history of the Mongols. Genghis Khan had a hard childhood. That's putting it mildly. After his father died when he was 9, he grew up with just his mother. Even worse, when Genghis Khan was a teenager, he was sold into slavery by a rival tribe called the Tayichiud, according to The Secret History of the Mongols, the oldest piece of writing written in Mongolian. Genghis Khan's name at the time was Temujin, which was his birth name before he led the Mongols and became a great conqueror. Even though he killed millions of people, Genghis Khan was known for making it illegal for Mongols to be slaves, which must have been influenced by his own life. Genghis Khan would not have become Genghis Khan, though, if he hadn't been freed from slavery when he was a child. The name of that person is unknown to most people. Sorkhan Shira was his name. Sorkhan Shira. In 1177, when Temujin was a slave, he had a hard time. Temujin ran away from his guards once and hid in a river. Sorkhan Shira, a soldier, felt sorry for Temujin and said, "It's because you're a clever young man that the Tayichiud are afraid of you. They say that your eyes contain fire, that your face fills with light. Just stay where you are. I won't tell them I've seen you." Sorkhan Shira faked to keep looking so that no one else would look in the river. He told other troops to look in the same places they had already looked. Shira went to the river and told Temujin to stop moving and stay in the water. Shira tried to get the other guards to stop looking. They couldn't find him during the day, so how could they find him at night? He told the other troops to go to sleep so that the Tayichiuds could keep looking for him the next day. Around Temujin's neck was a kang, which is used in East Asia to shame and punish people in public. So if Temujin's tongue looked anything like the picture above, anyone who saw him would have really noticed him. "How far can he go with a kang around his neck?" Shira asked. The people who were looking decided to look again before finally going to sleep. Shira went back to see Temujin one more time. He made sure he stayed in the water and also took care of himself. He made sure Temujin wouldn't say anything about Sorkhan to anyone. Shira made sure to see him in case he was caught. Temujin is freed. Chimbai and Chilagun, 2 of Sorkhan Shira's sons, took Temujin's kang off one night to help him sleep. They did this out of kindness for the young slave. Temujin liked Sorkhan Shira's family and had faith that they would set him free. But he didn't do what Sorkhan Shira told him to do. Temujin didn't stay in the river. Instead, he went to find Sorkhan Shira's tent. He knew that Sorkhan Shira and his family made kumis by fermenting mare's milk, so he listened for the sound of mare's milk being made in jars. Temujin found Shira's tent and went inside. Shira got scared and said, "Oh no. What do you want to do here? I told you to go find your mother and brothers, didn't I?" Shira didn't want Temujin in the tent because she was afraid he would get caught. But his 2 kids said he had to stay in the tent because he was trying to hide with them. Chimbai and Chilagun took the kang off of Temujin and put it in the stove. To help him get away from the Tayichiud camp, they put him in a wool cart and sent their sister to get him. But the family had to wait too long. After 3 days, the people looking for Temujin decided that someone in the camp must be hiding it, so they went through every tent. They looked at everything in Sorkhan Shira's tent and went through it all. They looked in the drawers and under the beds. At some point, they looked at the cart of wool and began taking wool out of it. Shira stopped the searchers from digging too deeply, though. How could anyone live in all that heat if they were buried in so much wool? The soldiers stopped looking for some reason and left. Temujin had to leave after the scare that almost killed Sorkhan Shira and his whole family. Shira, on the other hand, made sure Temujin was well fed before he left. He gave him a fat lamb to eat and 2 buckets of mare's milk. Shira also made sure Temujin a mare. He gave the boy a bow and 2 arrows so that he wouldn't hunt on the way back, but so that if he was caught, he could defend himself. Temujin ran far away, but he was able to find his family again. Without Sorkhan Shira, it wouldn't have been possible. Later allegiance to Genghis Khan. In his rise to power 24 years later, Genghis Khan wiped out the Tayichiud clan in a bloody fight. Genghis Khan was shot in the neck with an arrow during a fight, but a general saved his life by sucking the poison out of his blood. He got to know Sorkhan Shira and his family again after the fight. Sorkhan Shira's daughter Kadagan went to Genghis Khan's camp first. She said that she was Sorkhan Shira's daughter. and that her father had been taken by Genghis Khan's troops. Kadagan begged Genghis Khan to let her husband live because Sorkhan Shira's son-in-law was on death row. "I thought, Temujin will save him, so I cried and yelled for you." Genghis Khan got off his horse, hugged Kadagan, and then rode up the mountain to save Kadagan's husband. But his men killed her husband already. Even though his troops killed Kadagan's husband, he still made her eat dinner with him at camp. The next day, Sorkhan Shira was brought to Genghis Khan, and he and another famous general, Jebe, swore loyalty to him. Genghis Khan put them both in charge of his army right away, and he was especially kind to Sorkhan Shira. "You and your sons took the wood and the canine from my neck and collar. Why have you taken so long to join me?" Sorkhan Shira said he had to look out for his family, and that the Tayichiuds would have killed his whole family if he had joined Genghis Khan sooner. He waited until his family was safe, and he could join Genghis Khan at the same time. Shira's sons later became generals in Genghis Khan's army. When Genghis Khan set up his empire and his royal guard, he gave 95 of his most trusted generals the title Minghan, which means ruler of 1,000 households. For later conquests, this meant that each general was in charge of 1,000 troops. He would give Sorkhan Shira anything if it meant he could be free. Shira asked to be able to set up camp wherever he wanted, but he left the rest of the benefits up to Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan gave him more than just the chance to rest. He said that Sorkhan Shira could drink holy wine and that all of his offspring would be freemen. He made it so that Sorkhan Shira and his kids didn't have to pay for breaking the law. He let Sorkhan Shira and his sons take whatever they wanted from other cultures and enemies they attacked. Legacy. Genghis Khan and his children were not perfect people. In the wars they won, they took many people as slaves, including Merkits, Tatars, and others. But they did stop the Mongols from being slaves. Sorkhan Shira is a minor historical person and character in The Secret History of the Mongols. He is not in the glossary of selected proper names in the Paul Khan version of the book. This means that in the grand scheme of Genghis Khan's life, he is just a footnote, even though Genghis Khan said he would remember Sorkhan Shira's service in my dreams through the black night and in my heart through the bright day. But Sorkhan Shira is a very important aside because he was one of Genghis Khan's generals and the man who freed Genghis Khan from slavery with the help of his children. We hope you liked this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're a history addict, and please let us know about civilization or time period we should talk about. Also watch another video here.